Being a real estate entrepreneur has given me a life beyond my wildest dreams. In this video, I give advice to my 20-year-old self. There are some things that I did right, and there are some things that I absolutely would change if I could go back in time. My name's Lou Raven with REinvest Real Estate. My claim to fame is I've built 3 six-figure businesses in just 3 years, and they are all still running successfully. I love helping real estate agents and real estate entrepreneurs get ahead, and that's what this entire video series is about. I have about a dozen things that I wrote down that I would, give as tips to my 20-year-old self if I could go back and do things differently. I'm going to cover just 2 of them in this video, so this is the first video in a multi-part series. It's something that's a little bit more casual and relaxed than the normal YouTube video where we're explaining how to do something procedurally which will impact your business and help you make more money or save time. If you're looking for that type of content, be sure to subscribe, like, and go over to REinvest Real Estate on Skool for tons of free resources. Elise and I absolutely love helping real estate agents go from production to legacy. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to be giving advice to my 20-year-old self, and there are 2 top tips that I'm going to share with you today. The first one is that doing the work is the shortcut. I meet so many real estate agents and investors who are looking for the magic pill or the silver bullet that's going to cure all of their problems and build a multi-six-figure business for them. In reality, the work just has to get done, and unfortunately, it is the boring things that you do consistently over time that produce the results that snowball and become a massive business. I've learned this multiple ways in 3 different businesses, and I hate to say it, but it all kind of comes down to the same things. If you're in any type of sales related business, and I would include real estate investing in that because acquiring properties does require some sales, you have to be lead generating all the time. You have to be following up with leads diligently and staying top of mind. You have to make sure that people are thinking of you first when they think of real estate. And that does require a lot of work and time and effort. I meet so many younger real estate agents who get frustrated early on in their career because they're not getting the results that they hoped for right away. And all I can tell them is it's just simply about time on task over time, on task over time, on task over time. And it all does snowball. Now, the good news is you can get there faster, but the secret is that you have to do the work and you have to work harder than anybody else is willing to do. Now, this is a message that I'm sure a lot of people don't like to hear, and stay with me for a second. Don't turn off this video because it does get better. I'm not going to just try to shame you for this entire section. There is no replacement for hard work, and that's not to say that you can't work more effectively by employing certain strategies, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. But there is no replacement for doing the actual work. Every system requires an operator. There's some level of care and attention and work that has to be done to maintain the system and communicate with the client. At the end of the day, you're not going to send ChatGPT to a listing appointment for you, but there are a lot of things that it can do to help you be more prepared and to take some work off of your plate so you have more time to do more important work. So my message here is that it's not necessarily even about the quantity of work that you do, although it should be a lot when you're in your 20s. It's more about doing the right work. It's so easy to be busy in real estate sales and have nothing to show for it at the end of a week. We should be focused on just a couple core activities: lead generation, lead follow-up, showings, going on listing appointments, and negotiating are really the top 5, if not the only 5 things that a real estate agent should be doing. And all of those things require time. My encouragement to you is that if you're younger and perhaps you're free of some of the distractions or the time obligations that being older comes with, for example, having a family. Absolutely love my wife and son, but let's be honest, being a parent takes a lot of time. So if you're free from some of those time sucks, and I say that in a nice way, I encourage you to just dig in and put in the work now and get more done than anybody else is willing to within your age bracket or otherwise. It will get you further ahead than anything else that I could possibly tell you. The reality is that when you're in your 20s, you have more energy and vigor and more hunger than you will when you're later in life. I'm 37 years old now, and when I look back to myself 15 years ago, it was so easy to legitimately work 15-hour days, put in 80-hour weeks, and do what I had to get the job done. I can't do that now. Maybe it's not that I can't do that now, but I'm a lot less willing to do that. I have a lot less energy and vigor towards building big businesses than I did before. I'm a lot more measured, I'd say, in my approach. And when you're early on as an entrepreneur, you don't need to be measured and calculated. You just got to get into action at a massive level. When you do that, you earn the right to slow down a little bit later in life. For example, when my son was born, I took 3 or 4 months off to be with him and bond and support my wife. Going through childbirth is a harrowing experience, and there was a lot that I am very grateful that I was there for to help with extremely actively in the first 3 or 4 months. And not everybody gets to do that in real estate. Unfortunately, most fathers and even many mothers who are real estate agents don't get that privilege. I was able to do that because I invested so much time on the front end, and I build businesses that are somewhat self-sustaining. They do require work from me, of course, but they generate revenue without me being present. And it's a blessing, honestly. When you're younger, you just have more time and energy and excitement to pour into your business, and that translates to a massive back-end benefit when you're older. Like I said, you can buy your time back. You hopefully have accumulated some assets that are appreciating over time and generating cash flow, and all of that just compounds and multiplies in ways that you couldn't possibly imagine. You cannot project 15 years into the future effectively and really understand where you're going to be, but just trust me, doing the work now will absolutely pay off in 10, 15, 20 years and beyond. Tip number 2 is that getting organized is absolutely a force multiplier, and it will make you more effective at everything. Now, personal organization is something that was not on my radar at all until I was about 22 or 23 in my first career. I was managing 4 stores for a large national retailer, and I had a boss who was very tough, very direct, and absolutely told me what I needed to hear. She sat me down in a McDonald's and ripped me up one side and down the other and said, if you don't get organized, either you're going to quit out of frustration or I'm going to have to fire you. Now, I took that conversation to heart because I loved what I was doing. I had a lot of responsibility. I was making a lot of money and having a big impact on people at a very young age. And I knew that I wanted to stick it out. I wanted to be there. I wanted the job. So I committed to getting organized. And what I've found is that there has been no single conversation in the last 15 years that's been more effective than that one. It scared the shit out of me, if I'm being totally honest with you, and it made me look at life differently. It made me realize that not everything had to be a scramble, that I could be more purposeful and intentional with my time. In that role, follow-up was everything, and I was leading people that were 2 and 3 times my age. And I had to be extremely thorough and diligent and follow up on everything that I said and everything that I delegated in order to be taken seriously and to let people know that what we talked about and what we agreed to was actually important and that I was going to check up on it. It's fair to say that organization and time management is one of my superpowers now, and I was the person that always used to say, I'm just not organized and I just can't do that. I've met so many real estate agents that have that same problem and come to me with that same mentality, and all I can tell you is that is a lie that you are telling yourself to not change. And that's a hard truth for a lot of people to hear, but it's the reality for me and so many other real estate agents that I've coached over the years. I hope these 2 tips were helpful. They are very simple and they are things that you can change and implement right away. If you'd like more help building your real estate sales business or running it more efficiently, be sure to hop over to the REinvest Real Estate School community and join us. It's a free community where so many people are willing to share their experience and help others grow. We have tons of resources there that are free for you. You can just steal them and implement them in your business right away. Elise and I absolutely love helping real estate agents, so if you need help with anything, don't hesitate to reach out to us in Skool.